Hi guys, welcome back to Canary Cast. Good to see you back here. The transfer window, or at least Norwich's business, seems to be done. There is about 9 hours left of the transfer window, but I don't think we're going to see anything else coming in. Stuart Webber has done his bit. Me and Jacob have kept our cards quite close to our chest on incomings, especially after we lost Buendia, because we had to give him a chance to replace him, of course. I think he's now done that, so we're going to sit down and just have a chat about the lads that have come in this window. We're not going to focus on Gibson and Janulis. I feel like we all know enough about them and their own game. But we are going to talk about all the new guys and just go through it in detail, what we think of them, etc., etc. So strap yourselves in. We'll start with Milot Rashica. Jacob, what have you made of it so far?
Yeah, I just want to say in general before we go on to these, I think with Stuart Webber, like the budget he's being given, plus the Buendia money, I don't think you really ask much more. What is it, like 11 signings plus a couple of youth team players as well, which Liam Gibbs looks very good for the future. It's just pure shit house to get him from Ipswich. I just love that, by the way. And a couple of others who look exciting. They could turn out to be a Melvin Sissy. They could turn out to be a Max Aarons. Who knows? But in terms of Rashica, it's very. I tweeted after the Leicester game. It would be really nice to see him come up against non-Premier League winners, the most recent Premier League winners.
Yeah,
like I think there's potential there. I know he doesn't really fit the Farke system, which again is something we'll go on to in a bit about how probably Daniel needs to adapt now with the players he's got, because in an ideal world he doesn't go with wingers, and you can see with Rashica there's talent there. He can easily beat a man. I'd like to see him be a bit more aggressive in terms of running behind a little bit more. But I think there's potential there. And you can see with Sargent, when he came on the pitch, you could just see a little link up there that they were looking for each other and those sort of things. If you can build that up with Milot, I think there's a potential there. And you can see where the talent is. I just don't know if he fits us. But if we can adapt to him and he can adapt to us and it gels, then we've got a player there who can, for 9 million, fit this league, I think.
Yeah, I don't know about Rashica. So, like you say, he has played the two better teams in the league and Leicester. I just worry if it's a bit of a plaheta and we've paid best part of 10 million quid for it. I really hope I'm wrong, honestly. But I think when he first came in, we thought, oh, it's a Buendia replacement. It's a Buendia replacement. I think we can now say it's definitely not, right?
He's better than Plata, so we can rule that one out. He's better than O'Neill. He's better than those players who you're like, oh, is he going to be Championship? He is a Premier League player. He is a top league player for sure. I just don't know if he's not really a passer, is he? So like you say, of an Emmy or a Todd, he's not going to play those through balls. He's either going to shoot, which he loves a shot, or he's going to cross it. So it's just a little bit more direct. If you've got the right forward in there, I think he works. It's also interesting if he's playing on the right or left. I don't think Daniel... We've actually got 3 players at the minute in Tzolis, Rashica and Todd who actually want to be on the left rather than the right. So that's, again, a slight little tweak that you just have to make. But I think he will work out if we adapt him properly. I think it's a piece of business where you can see it happening. It just needs to really everyone to adapt properly to really make it work.
Yeah, okay, you mentioned him there. Let's talk about Christos Tzolis, because this is the one I'm probably most excited by, to be honest. I know he's young. We've put quite a bit of weight on his shoulders already, which he will need to deal with. But he just looks really exciting, doesn't he?
It was fascinating as well, obviously at the Bournemouth game, and was just watching him, to be honest with you, because the ball was going out to him a lot, and just really looking at what kind of player he is. And he's, for 19, you forget he's 19, only had one kind of senior appearance. Bournemouth were awful, by the way, but I'm just kind of saying him in general, what his patterns of play were. He's very intelligent with what he's doing. He knows his game quite well in terms of he defended well. He came back and helped his fullback, Brandon Williams, a lot of times. He kind of liked to drift a lot more like an Emmy than what Rashica would do, who I'd say is more an out-and-out winger. You can see why Tzolis scores goals, because a lot of the second half, he was drifting very central, almost number 10 forward position when he didn't have the ball, which was really interesting to see. And yeah, he likes to score goals. You can see he's hungry for that. And I think he'll be one of those players who plays without fear. Didn't look like he was that bothered by the occasion. Like, there's 20,000 Norwich fans there. He's never played in front of fans before. So, and there was expectation there. You know, he's 10 million signing. Probably going to be our record signing if everything goes well in terms of add-ons and everything. But no, he's fearless, and that's what I'd like to see. Hopefully he's back for Arsenal with that calf injury. Hopefully that's sorted. But there's an excitement there, and I think, like I say, fearlessness, which will just go, right, Christos, go out, play your game, and try and win us some points.
Yeah. Josh Sargent's next, but I also want to talk about Tzolis in this context as well. What have you made of us signing partnerships from across Europe, from Werder and PAOK?
Yeah, I think Josh is one which, if we're going to play the more Farke system of 4-3-3, then Josh has to start up top on his own, because Teemu can't, unfortunately. There's a lot of long aimless balls against Leicester, which Teemu's just never going to win. It's never been his game. It never will be his game. You need to play intricate passes to him, and without Emi, without Tzolis on the pitch,
he's not going to get the service.
Todd was drifting in and out of the game. I think, the service, his predominant service is behind. Max gave him a lovely ball in the second half, which he couldn't catch up with. And he's still finding fitness. But if you want someone who's going to relieve the pressure, hold the ball up, be quick and about it, Josh Sargent's the man. The only thing about him is finishing.
And just on the partnerships, do you think that'll be a wise move or not? Do you think it will?
Yeah, like I said with Milot, it's one of those which you could see they're looking for each other. Giannoulis seems to have really frustrated Daniel, so that will be very interesting to see what happens there, because those Man City goals were to blame, and you could see how angry Farke was. He doesn't take players off at half time, and then Brandon Williams has made a mistake against Leicester now. So who starts against Arsenal? But yeah, Tzolis and Giannoulis, they look like they know each other's game very well. They're obviously helping each other, or Dimmy's helping Tzolis settle in. It would be very, very key to see who starts at Arsenal, because two left backs now have made two glaring errors for goals. We'll wait and see.
Yeah, especially frustrating after Giannoulis was so good against Liverpool opening day, of course. The other thing on Sargent, just very quickly, do you think he's going to challenge Pukki in terms of goals scored? Because I think you can see he needs to work on his finishing. He's only 21, so there's plenty of time for that. But do you think he's going to get sort of Teemu numbers? Because I'm not 100% convinced.
His all-round game is actually very good for what we need. Like I say, he's big presence, he's quick. He's good in the air. He's got everything apart from, it looks like, that clinical edge. If you had Teemu Pukki's clinical edge in Josh Sargent's body, Jesus, you'd have 15, 20 goals a season, Premier League forward, and he'd go for 50-odd million. Unfortunately, we haven't got that kind of, that player. I mean, the same with Adamida. I think we've been questioning, who has a similar frame, and again, missed a good chance against Leicester. That is just that clinical edge you need with that one chance bang. I just don't think Josh has that. Hopefully, Daniel can somehow get him to that level. Like you say, he's only 21, so there's more than enough time for him to grow. I can see there's huge potential there. That clinical finishing, you either have it or you don't. He's going to have to work very, very hard to adapt to it and get it.
Okay, let's move on. And this is my pick for bargain of the window, or at least in terms of Norwich signings, Pierre Lees-Melou. I think that's a very good bit of business. Didn't have the best game at the weekend, but actually what I've seen from him in parts, I'm quite encouraged, especially for the $3.5 million up front we paid. Very
good on the ball. Only problem with him is the pace and the mobility. I mean, yes, for me, like, I look at it and see, I'm kind of baffled as to why he doesn't hold and Gilmour's the box to box.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a Lees-Melou kind of thing where he's 28, he knows his game, he's like, no, that's just not me. But
he puts in a lot of tackles, like he would suit that.
For me, I look at him and go, he's the perfect sitter. Him and Norman to sit, and then you have someone in front of that. Yeah. That for me, if Norman's good, that is, of course, Kenny interchanger with him if there's a problem, or even Kenny in front of them. Lees-Melou just looks like he can sit, spray it about, and then with a Norman beside him, he can then, go up the pitch a little bit, handball, have a shot from range. That looks to me like the perfect player. I'm baffled as to why those two aren't just swapped round. I think you have less of a problem there.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Okay, up next, Angus Gunn. We know a lot about Angus from time he's spent here. How much do you think we'll see of him this season? Because I don't think Tim Krul's had the best start without being terrible.
No, very true. I've been quite disappointed with him, to be honest with you. He's made a good save against Vardy on Saturday. Yeah. But the last couple of games, I think his distribution wasn't great. Against Bournemouth, Angus didn't have many saves to make, but his distribution was excellent. I think we're looking long term next season where he really starts pushing, regardless of what league we're in. But I think he's ready to. I think you can see the hunger, and obviously we love it. The sentimental point of view where he loves the club. I just think this is the perfect fit for him, and we will see him come good. And if everyone says it's 5 million, it's about 2.5. It probably will get to 5 with add-ons. And if he gets those add-ons, then he's done well for Norwich at the end of the day. Yeah. And that means we've got a good, solid goalkeeper. I think he could be here for it's for the rest of his career, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you. Okay, let's talk about the loans, or at least the loans before they come permanent. Norman, the one that landed the other day, he is a tank and he will nick your misses.
His Instagram is
it's amazing.
Bloody hell, yeah. I know Webber's talking about a tank. Jesus Christ, he's massive, isn't he? But fascinating one, because obviously at Brighton under 23s, saw people being like, "Oh, if he's not good enough for Brighton, how can he be good for us?" You know, it's the same with, I don't know, Soto, for example. You start him in the 23s. If he comes through, great. If not, then you. And he said he's found himself at Russia quite deep, but you know, it is what it is. He says he likes to tackle. His stats don't really tell you that, but he tells you he's very good in the interception category. And I think this is almost your Lucas Rupp upgrade in terms of height, physicality, and quality. In terms of, yes, he's mobile. He's probably your most solid skip that you're going to get.
Yeah.
And still, there's obviously question marks in terms of he's never played in the Premier League before, so it will take time to adapt. There's no other league like it. Russia's quite slow, and it's challenging in terms of the weather. It's not the Premier League fast pace.
Yeah.
But again, you have that slight problem. Obviously, if he gets injured, then you don't really have anyone to cover him. But all in all,
with that in mind, a loan to buy is probably quite smart in this situation.
Yeah, the whole deal in general is perfect. Yeah, same with when we're going to Kabak. The loan to buy is the most ideal thing for Norwich, because you don't know where you're going to finish. There's no real guarantee. So if you don't finish in the bottom three, great. He's been brilliant. If you do, then see you later. No, we don't need to worry about that again. I think he's going to improve Norwich. That's the biggest thing. I think he's going to. There's a glaring hole there, isn't there? We saw it again. Billy's just not a CDM. He looks like the perfect box-to-box Billy. I don't know why we haven't seen that yet. In terms of, I can see what Farke's thinking. Get it to him very deep. He wants the ball a lot, but let's get him on the ball where he's going to hurt teams rather than just this pointless passing.
Let's keep going with Billy Gilmour, because obviously he's been at the club a while now. It seems like we signed him ages ago, but he is this season, of course. I'm pretty certain he's going to be a great success, like Ollie Skip was. Slightly different player, like you say, box to box. But a very good loan deal for us, for Billy, and for Chelsea. You
can see the quality there. And like I was saying with Lees-Melou, in terms of sitting, that's what Billy needs as well. He either needs to be alongside someone who will destroy, or have two sitters behind him, and then he's the one which kind of floats about. Whilst it's probably different for his game, because Chelsea have a lot of the ball and he's more deep, he's got the legs and he's got the ability to be able to go past players. We've seen it in pre-season, and then be able to find those killer passes. I think he's probably the one who can probably find those killer passes for a team of Pukki. I don't think there's really anyone else.
It's him or Tzolis. It's got to be, surely.
Yeah, that's. I can't really see anyone else who can do that. So either he sits in the two, or two behind him, and he's in the one there. I think we need to scrap the 4-3-3. I don't think it works for me. It looks we're too open without a proper sitter. If Norman's a proper sitter, maybe it does work, but I still think you're overcrowded there. I think you need a two really to really give that solid base. Helps protect your centre backs as well. I remember looking at a load of Spurs fans and saying with Skip back how much more better Dyer and Sanchez are by just having that cover. Because like Phil Daly said on Michael Bailey's live yesterday, if you're going to keep allowing Premier League forwards time and space, they're going to punish you. Yeah. So let's stop conceding the silly goals that we are, because we should have got a point on Saturday. I don't want to keep having to say that. Bloody rewind at 19-20 where should have got this, but we conceded a crap goal. Should have got this, but conceded a crap goal. You've got to have that solidity there. Whilst pretty football is wonderful, and we love the Farke system, have to have that solidity in the middle, because we got overrun last time. We're getting overrun again at the minute. Have to learn and adapt to that very quickly.
Okay, two more to go. Let's go with Brandon Williams first. What have you made of the little we've seen of him?
Yeah, problem with your left back being right-footed. We saw is your perfect show on Leicester. Takes the right-footed touch, very narrow, loses it, goal.
Do you think there's sort of an argument to say if you had him as an inverted wing back and then played a left footer on the left as a winger, it would work better or not?
Well, you're only left footed platter, so I'd imagine you're not going to want to go with that argument.
Well, I personally don't know.
No, but I think it's a brilliant loan deal in terms of he covers left back, he covers right back well. Yeah. Again, I don't know, it'll be like we're saying with the Arsenal thing, who starts now, Giannoulis or him, because both made mistakes. I think if Max was to get injured, which is very rare, then he covers well there. surprised we haven't seen Barley go out on loan, but I guess they're really not trusting Byram at all. So it makes sense. It's a perfect loan deal in terms of not much loan fee. Probably goes down if he plays more. He'll play a lot. He's very confident in the tackle. That's what I like from him. He's aggressive.
Good.
And we need more of that because he's there first. And we need to be a little bit more nasty in terms of being able to go and win that ball. Like Kabak, we'll go on to him in a second. He loves coming in behind and smashing him. And that's what we need. We need a bit more aggressiveness because we're too nice and pretty to play against sometimes. Williams has got that bite. You can see that. Is he Premier League level? Be interesting to see because he's probably still trying to learn his game. He's only played 20 Premier League games, so you can kind of see that against Leicester. But it took him a little bit of time against Leicester after that mistake to get into it again. Again, all Brighton goals should probably be a bit tighter. Comes off him if you're being really harsh. It was other people's mistakes in the build-up to that. I blame them more in terms of Gilmour, Hanley. But he has to be tighter. He's learning. And that's maybe a problem for Norwich at the minute. You can't have too many people learning all at once because then you still get found out. And at the end of the 38 games, you'll get relegated anyway. But no, it's a good loan deal in terms of cost, in terms of cover. Got to wait and see until he grows into the team to see what we can grade him, really, I think.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, let's go with Kabak then. Last one. The club done fairly well to keep this one quiet. I don't know if it was as quick a process as it seemed from the outside, but I'm pretty chuffed with this one. I think he'll be a better player than he was at Liverpool because he'll be asked to do different things. But I think we've done fairly well to get this one through the door, to be fair.
I think this is a major coup. I mean, I looked at him and you think he's about 26. He looks absolute beast. He's still only 21.
Yeah.
And I watched him for Liverpool last season. Like you say, it took him a little bit of time to develop into their systems and with a very high line. But he looks so comfortable on the ball. And like I was saying to people, friends and stuff, if he's all right for Liverpool, he's going to be bloody good for Norwich. We are talking stratosphere in terms of the league. And he helped solidify them when they had real problems. Strength's not going to be an issue because bloody hell has he beasted out. Like even from Liverpool, he's a big lad.
Yeah.
And like I say, he's aggressive. He wants to come in and take that ball from the attacker. For me, he worked perfectly in a back three with Hanley and Gibson. That gives a whole different dynamic to what you do going forwards in terms of 2-2-1. Is it 5-3-2? Is it 5-2-1-1? What is it like? Or whatever it adds up to.
Yeah.
But that's a whole different dynamic. I think that works for Norwich. I think with three centre-backs, you're a lot more cover-free. And if you only have their one CDM, you can help each other out there, like what Wolves do. They actually battered Manchester United with that. I know they lost. It was very Norwich 19-20.
Yeah.
But that Wolves looks like the perfect ideal for me. Like I'm looking at that, and whilst they have better quality players, they found that system so well because you can defend deep and then you can counter well and maintain width so easily with that kind of system, and also have cover. Like against Leicester, it was 4-on-3, and Leicester's advantage at times at the weekend. You just can't keep doing that in this league. It rips you apart. And
also, I think thinking back to the Man City performance, I don't know why we didn't go with the 5 at the back there because Man City playing the ball between the gap of the wing back and the centre back is nothing new. They've been doing that for years. So it would be nice to have an extra man there for a bit of cover or to block the cross or whatever, another head in the air, and then it allows the wing backs to go further forward and not worry quite as much. I don't know why we didn't see that, but perhaps we will at some point.
What I liked about Kabak as well is he brings it out. He's Godfrey-esque with that, and whilst Gibson can pass it, it's very quick with the two centre backs. Every Premier League team has already found out that Gibson's the passer. So that ball into midfield that he likes is already cut off. Yeah. That's why the first goal happens, because instead of being able to play that ball in, which then puts Norwich onto the attack, it's already blocked off. They've already found out. So he's put it long, it's headed back, and then we make a mistake and it's a goal. So that's the problem. You either put Sargent up top, knock it long, get him to knock it down, or you get Kabak to come into the midfield with Hanley and Gibson behind him. Mm-hmm. You've just got to be a little bit more intelligent. Like I said, we'll go on to Farker in a second. You've just got to adapt better, and a three at the back for me works better. I think that would suit Aaron's down to the ground. That wing back role, really pin him wide and the same with Janulis, which, like I say, with that extra width as well, with that extra centre back cover, he's not going to be as exposed.
Agreed. Just a couple of points generally on the signings as a whole. There's quite a few internationals among them: Rashica, Tzolis, Sargent, Norman, Kabak, Billy Gilmour. That's pretty impressive, mate.
It is. And whilst last time we were so short, and let's be fair, Daniel Farker got a bit of a free pass in terms of it couldn't help. Now it's big pressure to try and
got to deliver.
Not keep us up, but make us very competitive.
Yeah,
there's expectation now on Norwich. Whilst we'll go on in again on a second and say about the goals, I think that's the main issue. We should not be conceding anywhere near the amount of goals against because of that quality, that extra quality. Like I say, in terms of the style of play, you have to adapt now. You have to be a lot smarter and find a way that you're not losing the ball in your own half and then got 4 attackers v 3 defenders. You've got to find a way to be able to work that out and make sure you're a lot more constructive in terms of passages of play, a lot more solid to play against, like you found last season at times when we were wiped out with injuries. We found ways to win. That's because we were the better team. We can't always outplay teams. Leicester at the weekend, look what West Ham did. They had none of the ball, counter-attacked, did well. At the weekend, we had more of the ball, got countered, and that's what Leicester want to do. You see, you've got to think about these things when you're playing. Yeah. I never feel safe when I'm watching Norwich without the ball either. Other teams, you watch it, there's a clear discipline. With us, you can see we want to play with the ball a lot. You can't do that at this level. You can't out-football teams because we're not one of the better teams.
No, we're not. I completely agree. Just one more point I just wanted to make about the signings as a whole. Nice range of ages. Like you've got younger lads, Kabak and Tzolis, and then you've got an older, well not older, but 28 at his peak in Lees-Melou. And then Rashica, Gunn at 25, just before their peak. Nice ages. Having the players in the door that we have now, and I'm pretty sure we're done. I don't think we're going to see anything in the last sort of 8 or 9 hours. Out of 10, how good has this window been from Stuart Webber? And can we not forget we've lost Buendia, please? Because that is
In terms of the players you're bringing in, I don't think you could do any more. I don't think you can get a better quality of player like you just listed off the internationals, the quality living in Norwich in terms of like in terms of bringing and attracting players through the door. I don't think you could have done much more. Obviously, losing Emmy is not ideal in any way, shape or form. If you were to have lost an Aarons or a Cantwell and you still had Emmy in that side, you would say, wow, that's a team.
Yeah.
Which is your only shame. Of course you don't. So I'd say probably an 8. Because you have to take 2 away from Emmy. 8.5 maybe.
So I was going 8.5. I'm going to take 1 away from Emmy because it's Emmy. We cannot replace him. He wanted to go. I get that Stuart Webber's hands were tied. That's fine. But just for the sake of rating it, I'll take 1 off for Emmy. And then I'll take maybe half a point or 1 off just because I'm still slightly worried about a lack of goals. I think you share the same concern. I don't know how well Pookie's going to do. Obviously, Sargent has the same question marks about him. We don't know how many goals he's going to net. Cantwell had a good season in the Prem last year. Will he fancy it this time? A lot of ask to Tzolis, a lot of ask to Rashica, a lot to ask of Rashica on current viewing. Where are the goals going to come from?
Yeah, then this is the only problem. Whilst it probably sounds quite negative, we're very excited about the new signings.
Yeah.
In terms of scoring, the problem I have is how are the different ways we're going to score? I know McLean scored from a corner at the weekend, which got ruled out, but we're not a threat from set pieces. We don't counter very well. And at the minute, we're not holding the ball very well.
I think we've got the players to counter better, though.
Yes, and this is what we're talking now. We'll get on to Farke. That's where he needs to now adapt because that's not his system at all. You could see he really doesn't like counter-attacking. Like when he came to Norwich, he said, if I could have 100% of the ball, I would. That idea has to change because we're not at that. In maybe 2 years, like Brighton have now done, you could then go and beat Watford 2-0 quite comfortably and be able to have a lot of the ball, those sort of things. At the minute, it has to be almost a bit scrappy to keep yourself up and being able to out-scrap teams like your Burnleys do. Like, I don't know, what Leeds were a bit of a freak last season. Bielsa's incredible. But, yeah, you have to be able to really scrap and earn those points rather than try and play around everything because as soon as you get caught out in this league, bang, it's a goal. Like Leicester had 3 chances at the weekend, scored 2. It is that clinical.
Yeah, you just cannot give away the chances like you can in the Championship. Okay, right, let's finish on this then. With the signings that are through the door, and obviously we've only played 3 games, a long, long way to go yet. Another winter window as well, of course, before we reach the end of the season. But are we going to stay up? With the bodies we've got in now, how confident are you? And actually, let's have a prediction. Come on, where are we finishing?
You have to have a lot of these to really hit the ground running, but there's quality there. I think for me, this is the best transfer window, bar Emmy, that you could have had. I don't think, and probably one of the best Norwich ever had. I'm buzzing about Kabak. He is special. Like for Norwich's level, he could be anything. If he stay up for 11 million, he could go on and be 40, 50, 60 million. Look at what we did with Godfrey. We sold him for 25. He played a year and a half for us. Like,
and that's 11 million, even if he comes in and is sensational. Like, even if everyone's interested, we've got an option for 11.
He could be very, very special for Norwich. I don't think that's even being that dramatic, because seeing him in the Champions League, he didn't look out of place.
No.
So whilst that is only a couple of performances, he could grow into whatever he wants to be. But yeah, in terms of predictions and stuff, we could never be in a better place apart from Emmy. In terms of what you've brought in, you couldn't have asked for anything else. I think you've got to be looking at around 16th, 17th. I think that's the expectation now.
Yeah.
You look at Brentford, we should finish above them. You look at Watford, we should finish above them. We were points and points ahead of them last time.
Arsenal.
Finish above Arsenal as well. But you look at the likes of Newcastle. You look at the likes of Burnley have spent a lot less than us.
Yeah.
You look at Burnley. Those are the teams. That's what we mentioned there. 4 teams. That's your 16th position potentially. And then I don't know. Wolves haven't started brilliantly. They look good.
They look all right though,
but they're not. They haven't scored yet. They've scored none and lost every game.
True.
So, and sometimes whilst they have a better team, you never know that you're never too good to go down. You can fall. Brighton as well don't always score. I think they're better than us. There's teams in and around us which we should be able to scrap against this year, and that's what I want to see more. We didn't beat, really, apart from Bournemouth at home, we didn't beat anyone in and around us last time. No. That's what you have to do at this level. It's not these 3 games that will decide it. It's when we play Watford at home, it has to be a win.
Yeah.
There's nothing else. You can't accept the draw there. It has to be a win. Those sort of games, that will keep you up. So I'm going to say 17th with real optimism that everything comes together. Farke adapts to his players rather than his players just adapting to his style.
Mm-hmm. I am inclined to agree with most of that. I'm delighted we've got Max Aaron still. I think that I didn't expect him to be here. I think that's brilliant. Arsenal are apparently interested, but like I say, clock's ticking. Agreed that a lot of players need to hit the ground running, at least sort of 3 or 4 of them. And that's quite a big ask. But I am, like you say, apart from Emmy, I'm genuinely really pleased with what Stuart Webber's pulled out of the bag here. And I just want to say, I'll go for 17th, right? But I don't care if it's on goal difference. Like, just stay up.
Fit on the last day. I don't care.
And on that note, our goal difference is not good at the minute. It's what is it? -9. Only scored 1, or might say, but it's one of them. I realise that we play Liverpool and Man City. Completely get that, but I don't think we can ship 8 goals against them. We need to. I know they'll do that to a lot of teams, but if we want to stay up, we need to keep an eye on the goal difference. And I think those 5-0s need to be sort of no more than 3-0, really.
Well, that's just your whole point about your goal difference, isn't it? Like, I can envisage now we'll be -40, Burnley will be -16, for example. There, your slight differences. It's an extra point. I know we're probably going into real specifics, but it is an extra point down there. So, just have to tighten up. And Arsenal will be such a fascinating one. We'll probably preview it anyway. If people actually think we can go get something there, that is a huge club with huge players there. That's not one we should go and get anything from.
Are you confident though? Because I'm not. Like I'm fairly confident we can get a point.
Shouldn't fear them. That's the thing. That's what I want to see. If you lose that game 2-1 and you've put in as much kind of attacking impetus as you can, and really show that we're not just going to be kind of accept a loss here, which we shouldn't do. Look at them; they've started so badly. We should be able to go and push it like Brentford did. Go and really push it at them. Then why not? Don't really see us winning, but let's hope. And then Watford's your main one. That's the one I'm looking at. That's where your season starts. There's a lot of pressure on it, but that's where your season really starts, where you go, right, got to get this win here.
Yeah, I'm very excited that I've got a ticket for that one. It's a very important game. But I think we'll leave it there for now because we've been going long enough, unless you want to get anything else off your chest.
No, I think that's all good. Like I say, very positive in terms of Webber couldn't have done any more. We said very emotional when Buendia went and said, look, this is on you now, Stuart, you've got to deliver. And I don't think he could have done any more. So now it's down to Daniel Farke, his coaching staff. He earned good money. He's got to go and show it now to really, because this is huge for Norwich. This, to keep us up, would mean, wow, the amount of players you're going to get. Norman, Kabak, Maybe keeping Aaron's again, maybe keeping Todd, extending that contract, and then being able to develop and bring in better players and keep going and keep yourself in this league. That's what you want to do, rather than just keep being yo-yo, because it's a lot more difficult to go up than it is to keep coming down. Yeah. So big season ahead for Norwich. Hopefully we can do it. Looking forward to seeing what happens now. It's going to be fascinating to see, isn't it? See all the players gelling. Hopefully we can do it. Webber's done his job though. Couldn't have done any more.
It's on Daniel now. You've got your tank. He will take your misses, but you've got your tank. So let's leave it there. Thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments what you think of all the new signings, where you think what are Norwich going to do this season? Are we going to stay up? Let us know in the comments or on Twitter, whatever. But until next time, thanks for watching and take care. Cheers.